Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 are these tuscar statues and waterfalls at this cool little tuscar village I found. And I don't know what it is, but the way everything looks just is very aesthetically pleasing in this tuscar village. Like the trees, the mountains, all the colors kind of contrast with each other. The waterfalls have this glossy look to them, as you can see there. Like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like they're at a high frame rate. You know what I mean? You know when they take those pictures and they're like super high frame rate, or I think it's frame rate, and it's just like, it looks all glossy. That's what it reminds me of. It kind of, I don't know. It's like I haven't seen it in World of Warcraft, or I haven't paid attention to it maybe. I don't know. I did a whole thing on waterfalls. You would think I would notice, but I think they look really cool. And then the statues are kind of overlooking the village, and everyone's talking. You got all the buildings, and you know, all the tuscar just living their lives. And I don't know. I think it's just a really cool area. But I think the statues and the waterfalls seem like the really big focal point of the entire village, which is why I picked them. But you know, there's a lot of cool stuff. I don't know why that guy's wearing his like hat. It seems like it's hot outside, so he's wearing like a winter hat. I don't know. There's also this otter kid eating tuscar kid with his pet otter. Let's move on. 9. You may have actually seen number 9 in the previous clips, and that is the Cannonball kid. When I saw this kid, I was like, he's got to go on the list. This is a tuscar kid that literally just runs in circles. He runs up to this rock, and then he jumps in, and he just does a cannonball. And he just does it over and over and over and over, and there's like another kid watching him with his otter pet, and I think the otter in the water is probably this kid's otter pet, and I guess he just chills underwater and watches him do cannonballs. But like, what a life, man. Like, this otter literally just, God, I did it again. This tuscar kid, right? Although I would like to see an otter doing cannonballs, that would be pretty cool. But this tuscar kid just over and over and over just does cannonballs. Like, I feel like you would hit a point where you would just get tired of doing cannonballs, right? Maybe you want to do a different type of dive. Like, you know what? I'm so tired of doing cannonballs. Let's do, oh God, I don't know any types of dives. Let's do the butterfly dive. Is that a real dive? The butterfly dive? Butterfly dive. Butterfly swimming? How to swim butterfly? I guess that's a type. Wait, do you dive? A slightly deeper dive is required for butterfly. It's probably right. Either way, I thought this was cool. It was one of the first things I saw that was like, this has to go on the list. It's number 9. 8. Number 8 is Hornswogg. That's right. This is Hornswogg. He's a big dragon frog that pulls a cart. And I think he pulls a cart for these dragon warrior people, but I have no idea. All I know is he sits here and you can actually get in the cart. I didn't go in the cart. And he's just, you know, he's like biting stuff. I don't know if he's eating flies or just having a good time. But either way, he just sits here. And he gets ready to pull the cart. I mean, if you had to have either an ox, a dragon frog, or whatever Hemet Nessingware he had last time, you know, I'd probably go with Hornswogg. I feel like he's the friendliest of all of them, right? I feel like he's also gonna get all the bugs. You know what I mean? People don't think about that. Like, when you go out camping, you go into the wilderness, everyone's like, oh, you know, it's gonna be a grand old time, but nobody ever thinks of like, oh yeah, all the mosquitoes and the gnats and the flies all around you, and you're just trying to have a good time, and it says bzzz, you know? But Hornswogg, he's not gonna let that happen. He's gonna be eating them nonstop, just like in fact, it would probably get more annoying if he kept eating all the bugs, but I'd rather have that than bugs around. See, look at that. There we go. Just ate another one. So the moral of the story is Hornswogg, great guy, great for going camping with, great for pulling your cart of items, and he's number 8. 7. Number 7 is dragons having tea. That's right. I bet you did not expect to have dragons having tea on this list, but here we are. Dragons having tea. And honestly, the one thing I kept thinking about is the benches. I was like, did the dragons actually design these benches? Or are these just human benches? Because it feels like if dragons wanted to design like comfy dragon benches, they could probably design some cooler benches. You know what I mean? Because like these benches, they seem a little, I don't know. They feel like they're just human benches. You know what I mean? Like dragon benches would probably be a little lower to the ground. They might, you know, like they're long, right? They're like hot dogs. So I feel like there should be some sort of aesthetically, I don't know, some better dragon aesthetic design. I don't know. Listen, I'm not the one designing the dragon benches. It just feels like they should have their own style of benches is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Also, the rain's getting in their tea. Their tea is ruined. The benches are ruined. But you know what? They're having a good time, and that's all that matters. 6. Number 6 is this pool floaty. That's right, a pool floaty. I think it's called a pool float, but I like calling it a pool floaty. It's just, I think this pool floaty was in like the Goblin Town in Orgrimmar at one point. And you might be like, why'd you put this on the list if this is already in the game? Well, here's why. Why is this thing in the Tuscar village? I have so many questions. Number 1, why is it in the Tuscar village? Number 2, who brought it to the Tuscar village? Number 3, why did they bring it to the Tuscar village? Did they steal it from the Goblin Town or the Goblin area and then, you know, just happen to be like, hey, everybody, look at it. Like, I haven't seen any other pool floaties looking like this horse. Like, why is it here? And then all the Goblin kids, all the Tuscar kids. That's like the 3rd time I mean to say Tuscar kids, and I don't say Tuscar kids. I've said otter kids, now Goblin kids. Either way. Also, wow, those Tuscar kids both synchronize their little like blip. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, the pool floaty. So the Tuscar kids are in their own little bags. Like I guess they made their own floaties. Maybe that's why they brought this one, because they're so used to their weird like bags of water in water. Like they're in a bag of water in water. Like why don't they just? Why are they in the bags? There must be some quest for this or something. I don't even know, but either way, I'm just confused. I don't understand, but that's besides the point, because maybe those are their pool floaties. Maybe that is like the Tuscar pool floaty. You get like a bag, they like stitched it together, and there's like, woo, but then water leaks into it. But now this pool floaty, this is like, dude, are you kidding me? This thing just floats? Blizzard, if there's one thing I ask of you, it is at one point in this expansion, we need a Tuscar kid riding this pool floaty for like a quest or something. I don't care. Also, there's another Cannonball kid. He's doing cannonballs off waterfalls. Maybe he should have been number 9. Oh well, it's too late. 5. Number 5 is Doc Nanners. This is a monkey that is named Doc Nanners. I guess he's a doctor, and he likes bananas, or Nanners in this case. And all he does is he sits on his barrel and he throws bananas at you, and then they hit you and they go, and that's that. Now there could be quests where, you know, maybe he progresses as a doctor in the medical field. Maybe he stops throwing bananas at you and throws them at other people because you get to know him better as a friend. Or he just keeps doing this. I don't know, but all I know is I went to this town and he just kept throwing bananas at me. And I was like, now this has to make the list, 100%. I mean, we don't know. He could be one of the smartest doctors in this entire game. He could know how to do various different surgeries. He could know the cures to numerous diseases, and he's the only one that knows how to find the herbs and put together the medicines to cure you. Or he could just be a monkey on a barrel that throws bananas at people and isn't actually a real doctor. Nah, that can't be it. He's got to be a doctor. Or number 4 is the Ruby Life Shrine, specifically the inside of it, because it is overgrown with a bunch of plants. There's a bunch of little waterfalls. There's this cool little like lotus flower type pool at the bottom. There's a bunch of dragon whelps all over. I just love the way it looks. I mean, obviously up top is pretty cool too. You can kind of see, but I specifically really liked the center dome area. It kind of reminded me of in Star Wars where Yoda and the Emperor fight in the Senate. You know, there's like all those different chairs and they're like in this big dome area. I don't know. It reminded me of that. But either way, this is pretty cool. And I tried to find some lore on it, but I think it might be too new for that. I did find a little bit, although it is pretty much Waking Shores lore as well, but we might as well learn it all, right? The Waking Shores fell dormant after the Dragonflights left their homeland 10,000 years ago. Now, with Azeroth's world soul revitalized, the awesome primal might of the shores stirs anew, rousing the dragon's ancient allies and age-old enemies from their long millennia of slumber. This land is stirring with the reawakening of elemental energies. Long ago, the elements were present in their most primal, unfettered form. However, the resurgence of magic in the Dragon Isles has caused that energy to reawaken. Geysers and hot springs are commonplace, and powerful streams and rivers carve grottos into the colorful rocks and sediment. Waterways feed into the land's heart and the life pools of the red dragonflight. While millennia ago this area was populated with dragon architecture like the rest of the Broodlands, most of those structures have long since fallen into decay and become overgrown, which seems to be the case for this area. And that's why I think it looks really cool. That's why it's number 4. 3. Number 3 is something I definitely didn't expect to find in the zone, and that is hippos trapped in tornadoes. Hippos trapped in tornadoes. So I believe these little NPC elemental guys are putting the tornadoes there to, I guess, CC the hippos. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it. I haven't done the quest for it, but the fact that it's a thing, the fact that you're just walking around and then you're just like, hold on a second. Are those hippos in tornadoes? Also, these are kind of like mini tornadoes when you think about it. So they're like, what would a mini tornado be? Is it like a vortex? Actually, is a vortex and a tornado the same thing? Vortex versus tornado. Some tornadoes consist of a single vortex, but other times multiple suction vortexes or vortices revolve around a tornado center. These storms within a storm may be smaller, with a diameter of around 30 feet, 9 meters, but they experience extremely powerful rotation speeds. Either way, there's your tornado facts of the day. But I think the hippos are just trying to live their lives, and then these ass clown elementals roll up and they just put you in a tornado. You know, it's a bad day, right? You think you have a bad day because you dropped your ice cream cone on the ground. At least you're not stuck in a tornado. You know what I mean? So hopefully we have a quest to help free these hippos from the tornadoes, and then they can go about living their lives. But until then, they're number 3. 2. Number 2 are the ducks, specifically the ducklings, which have finally been added to World of Warcraft. This may surprise you, but ducks have never been in the game. This used to be a running gag, according to Wowpedia. Despite the in-universe presence of duck-shaped toys and decoys and the expression sitting ducks, the birds themselves were completely absent from World of Warcraft for most of the game's history. This became the source of a running gag, with Blizzard poking fun at the non-existence of ducks. And during the Dragonflight expansion reveal stream, after showcasing ducks of the Waking Shores, senior game designer Josh Augustine stated Blizzard finally cracked the technology to add ducks to the game. And here they are. The ducks have arrived. Which I think they're great. I like these ducks. They're all over. They're having a good time. They're quacking. Did you know some duck facts? Ducklings are born without blood vessels or nerves in their feet. This is an important part of duck anatomy. Lack of nerves and blood vessels means they do not feel cold on their feet and can tolerate low temperatures. Look at that. Bet you didn't know that one, unless you're like a duck biologist or something. There's always one person. But one of the big reasons I put them so high up is there are people filming the ducks in World of Warcraft. And I don't know anything about these people. I don't know if they're like part of a quest thing where they're like trying to film the animals of World of Warcraft. I don't know. But the fact that I'm filming someone filming a duck while also simultaneously filming a duck just felt extremely pointless, and pointless enough for me to bump this all the way up to number 2 for Duckception 1. And number 1 is one of the most relaxing places I think I've seen in World of Warcraft. Like the other Tuscar town we had, which was a little more southeast, it had more Cannonball kids and Tuscar statues and waterfalls. This is just a nice coastal town. It's like a place you would go on vacation to. There's just a bunch of Tuscar fishing, and you have this like amazing, beautiful sunset in the background. Like, look at that. You have the sun, the clouds, the mountains, the water. Like, it looks like a painting. You know what I mean? Like, look at those colors. It's beautiful. You got tuscar with the big fishing pole things. They got normal fishing poles. Like, they're all just having a good time. You got otters walking around. I guess the only downside is those weird little bug things flying around. But still, if you go to a real sunset in real life, you're gonna have mosquitoes, you're gonna have gnats, right? You're gonna have all sorts of bugs. You got ticks out there, who knows? But here, yeah, you just got some weird little fairy bug things. I don't know what they are, but like, I'd bring people here for fishing with crendor. Like, I love this place. I would go on vacation here in a heartbeat and just chill with the tuscar and have a good time fishing and watching the sunset. So yeah, I don't know. That also sounds like I'd love to watch the sunset in World of Warcraft. Like, it just sounds nerdy, but I don't know. Actually, how many sunsets are there in World of Warcraft? I guess there's a lot, but I feel like some places have better. I need to do a top 10 sunsets. There it is. That's gonna be hard to film. Like, you'd film like a couple sunsets a day. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, this is probably one of my favorite places I've seen in World of Warcraft, and Dragonflight specifically. But I mean, look, you even got the turtle with all the lanterns and stuff on it. Oh my god, what a perfect place, and what a perfect number 1 for this top 10 list. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube lingo. And here's some more Pointless Top 10s you can go watch. We got the Azure Span, there's also rivers, there's fountains, there's a whole bunch of them. Go check them all out. Okay? Okay. See ya.